This is gonna be rather longer episode than normal. It's not even an episode; it's just a YouTube video. So I had this idea. I love brackets. I've done games with music, and I decided let's do a bracket YouTube video about video games, and more specifically, superhero video games. So my idea is to have a bracket, a top 32 showdown of video games featuring superheroes. So again, Batman, Superman, Justice League, Avengers, lots of that, Ninja Turtles, and a couple that probably are comic book inspired, but I'm not quite sure if they ever made it to a comic book. And so it's basically from the beginnings. I think the oldest game I have here is Spider-Man from the Atari 1982-ish. And then I think the newest game I have is maybe Justice League Heroes from 2006. There's Teen Titans is in here as well. So then eventually I'll compile another list of games, 32 games of games 2006 till now. There's a lot of games now, a lot of online stuff. So this is more like the classic, and it's lots of consoles, lots of arcades, and I'm gonna play them and rank them up against each other. And before I continue, here are the 32 games in no particular order. On screen we have, of course, Justice League Heroes, The Flash. Some of these games I've heard of, some of these games I've played, some of these games I've never knew existed. This is one of them. I never had a Game Boy. I actually have a Game Boy Advance now that I got at a garage sale. I have a lot of these games from garage sales. I don't know why I collect these games, but I do. Some of these I don't. I'll maybe have to get like an emulator going on this computer to get some of these games. Yeah, Flash, Justice League Heroes. I did not know, or at least I don't remember this game. Aquaman, Battle of Atlantis, Nintendo GameCube. Again, some of these titles did come out in multiple machines, so this art, is the GameCube one, but I think Aquaman, Battle for Atlantis came out in like all three of the major systems at the time. So I think Super NES and Genesis perhaps, and it probably came out on Game Boy as well. But chances are, I'll try to stick to for instance, like Sega. At least I'll let people know when I play them which platform, which console that I used it on. No guarantees of which console. For instance, I don't have a Nintendo GameCube. I never have. I rarely ever see them at garage sales. So this one will probably be a Nintendo or a Sega Genesis. Justice League Chronicles, Game Boy Advance. Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage. I'm not sure exactly. I think again, this particular one is game art is Super NES. Anyways, I'm gonna state just one of the consoles it came at. I'm sure it came out in more, but at least you'll know around the time that it came out. So this one's 1994. I'm sure it came out on Sega Genesis as well. Justice League Heroes, PlayStation 2, so it probably came out on Xbox as well. I've never heard of this game. Let me go through this list here. Justice League Heroes, Justice League Heroes. I don't really know this game. I don't remember it. It looks like Justice League had a line because they had the Flash and I think another Superman one. 2006 PS2 GameCube. Captain America and the Avengers. I've recently played this. Super Nintendo. I know Hawkeye, Iron Man is in it, The Vision, as you can see. Looking forward to this one. The Adventures of Batman and Robin. I know it came out on SNES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. I remember seeing this cover art. Looks like it would be a fun game. If you were to judge a book or a video game by its cover, this one looks fun. X-Men the arcade. You know, if you grew up in the 90s, you played this game, you know this game. It's I remember it. I remember it well. The graphics were great. 1992. Hard to believe this game is already well over 25 years old. Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker again. Some of these games I remember seeing. You know, I wasn't. When it comes to video games, I'm always in and out, in and out. You know, a lot of sports games. I played a lot of NHL, like EA Sports NHL games. So some of these, you know, you'd think I would have played a lot more of these games of superheroes, but they were always too expensive. And then by the, you know, then you hear that they probably weren't that good, anyways. Batman, Dark Tomorrow. I'm gonna go quicker through this. Captain Commando. Now this, when compiling the list of 32, this took a roster spot. As far as I know, it's not a comic book. It may have been a comic book eventually, but it's very comic book inspired from what I hear. It makes a lot of lists. I've never played it, never heard of it. So I thought instead of just another Spider-Man game or just another Batman game, I'd put this in. If I had found another game like that previous one, an additional one, this probably would have been the game to lose. I mean, Catwoman, the movie, was it real bad? I have no idea what the video game, how good or how bad it is. Constantine, again, never played it. I remember the movie, don't remember the game. Daredevil, wow, 3 in a row. Before the Marvel Universe, MCU universe, there was a bunch of Marvel movies out that did not do very well or were not critically acclaimed. This is one of them, and it has a video game. Freedom Force. I loved Freedom Force. I remember it well. I played it a lot. I loved the mods. That's all for now. The Flash, the original TV show, video game. Do not remember it. This is what comes out in 1993, the year I graduated high school. So this is, wow, 27 years ago. Should be interesting. Teen Titans on GameCube. This is inspired by the Go Teen Titan or Go Titans Go, whatever the hell that cartoon's called. I hear a lot of good things about the cartoons. I never have watched them. The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. I've played it. I don't remember much. Justice League Task Force. I remember seeing this when it came out. I'm pretty sure I had it. Pretty sure I played it. Don't really remember. Love the cover art. I mean, Justice League Task Force. It was a comic book and it was a video game. Wow. Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects. Never heard of it. This was a last-minute addition to this list. It took the spot, I think, of like a random Spider-Man game, or maybe no, one of the Batman. I think the Batman animated series game. I just had so many Batmans. Might as well put in a Marvel universe. I've always wanted to play this game. The Death and Return of Superman, Super NES and Genesis. Looking forward to it. Return of the Joker, Batman again. I've seen this ad a million times. Never played it. Batman again. I've seen this constantly at garage sales, and I've had it. Don't remember playing it. I'm pretty sure I would love. I think I might like it. Spawn, the Eternal. This is what this 32 game list was made for. Games like this that I do not remember this coming out. this comic book property. I would love to own this and play this, and I will. Atari Spider-Man. That's it. Like, I remember this game when it first came out when I was like 8 years old. Not sure if I've ever played it, but I will now. Oh, Spider-Man 2001 or 2002 on PC. I played this game a lot. When I had my computer store, I used to babysit my nephew Steven a lot. And he just sit there and watch me play this game. He would insist on it. And he just want that opening title music. Like, he would just sit there like a good little boy, 2 years old he was, and dance to the theme song to this video game. So this video game is gonna go a long way, I'm sure, just for that. Superman the arcade game. Superman Shadow of the Apocalypse. I think it's inspired by the cartoon in the 2000s. What year did this video game come out? Let me just quickly look here on my list here. And of course I went from the bottom when I should have went from the top. 2002. Swamp Thing. Again, this is the reason why I made this list, why I'm doing this. Swamp Thing, never played it. Never would have played it unless I made this list. I never even knew this was out. And I'm excited to play this game. Ninja Turtles, the original arcade. I probably could have put one or two other video games on here of Ninja Turtles, and there's probably no excuse, but once I made this list, I'm sticking to it. Ultimate Spider-Man, PlayStation 2. Beautiful Joe. Never heard of it. It was on a couple of lists. It looks very comic book inspired. I am very excited to play this game. Here is the first round. Spawn versus Batman Beyond. Justice League Task Force versus Nemesis. Batman Return of the Joker versus Superman Shadow of Apocalypse. The 93 Flash versus Captain America. Captain Commando versus Daredevil. Again, the 2006 Flash versus Spider-Man. X-Men versus Rise of Sin Tzu. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Batman. Aquaman versus Batman. Dark Tomorrow. Justice League Chronicles versus Beautiful Joe. The Spider-Man Atari versus Justice League Heroes. Teen Titans versus the Incredible Hulk. Maximum Carnage versus Superman. Ninja Turtles versus Constantine. Death and Return of Superman versus Freedom Force. Adventures of Batman and Robin. Swamp Thing, Catwoman, and finally the Ultimate Spider-Man. So yeah, and you'll hear some of my comments and what I think, which game is better. Whichever game is better will go forward into round 2, advance into round 2, and then eventually we will have the ultimate winner. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I don't know yet what the criteria is. It's not going to be based on high score, or it's going to be, maybe I'll come up with a sheet of paper and maybe score it, have an actual system of scoring. But yeah, that part's still open. I'll do the video. I'm going to edit this, post it, and then all right, we'll see what happens, if this works, if this is a good idea or not. Once again, I'm the Geek, Carlos from the Geek and the Girl podcast. This is a side episode exclusive to YouTube, so subscribe and listen to the podcast. Once again, Geek and the Girl, where we talk about not just comics, not just video games, but all sorts of geeky stuff, including sports, TV shows, movies, maybe even some books. But yes, lots of video games and lots and lots and lots of comic book goodness. So thank you.